As last time in the world of Augon, we picked up with you all in the midst of a fight against spectral undead and some zombies and skeletons. As from that decrepit dark circle that lay at the center of Wolford Crypt, the spectral wraith-like entity rised up, writhing and screeching in pain as it fought against you all. It was a difficult battle that was made harder by the fact that every time you killed the spectral wraith, it rose back up after one of the symbols on the circle was erased from it dying. But eventually you strong-armed your way through it, killing all of the enemies and destroying the wraith as many times as it took. And then, as near the end, as the wraith died one last time, tendrils shot out from the center of the circle, wrapping around the essence that lay in the center of the corpse, as Beryl was watched in horror as it began to get pulled down. Luckily, you all were able to prevent anything further from happening, as a necklace was found inside the grave, the tomb, that assumedly belonged to Lady Emily Wolford. A necklace of dragon kinship that marked her as a friend of dragons. That was placed upon the corpse, and as soon as it did, blinding platinum light filled the room, and the essence was saved as the circle was erased and the corpse was fixed. As following that, you all laid the corpse back in the tomb, and Isaac acts to identify the necklace. And as he did that, some other things happened. Some exploring of the room further, finding a altar at the back with a script written above a broken open chest in Draconic. And Beryl started laying the corpses to rest. Then Silas and Soul stepped outside. As upon identifying the item, Isaac seemingly wished to keep it, but was scolded by Astrid and went to go put it back in the tomb. But before he did, he pressed his crystal rod against the staff and the necklace, and energy surged from it and pulled energy from the necklace, turning it completely to dust. As some tension brewed in the party after that happened, and Josie stepped out of the room quickly after, Carolina not too far behind her after she stayed behind for only a bit longer. As Astrid and Beryl were furious, and then Astrid made Isaac come along one last time to the back of the altar to read the script written in Draconic above the tomb. As reading it out, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it shorthand said to lay your respects there unless you are part of some dragon covenant. Then what you sought was inside to find the resting place of the whatever it was referring to. As that finished up and everyone went outside, and there was some brief discussion about what you were going to be telling Mr. Perpetor, and then you returned to Mr. Perpetor, telling him of what occurred inside the tomb and telling him a lie as well, that the necklace was destroyed because of the thing it did to save the woman. As Mr. Perpetor, thankful, thanked you all profusely, and said to come back another day to help move the statues, as you guys were hurt and you needed your rest, and you also recommended Carolina go see a healer as she was in bad shape and also had her max HP reduced by a significant amount. So you all went to go find a healer at the Temple of Grizevi as the next thing you were going to do before heading to Lady Ildani's mansion. Sol, however, split off from the group and went and bought some items and then went toward the manor to meet up with the group later. But they would meet up earlier than that. Before we get back to that, group went to go to the Temple of Grizevi, where they met a strange tiefling man with a single horn and cherry red skin that was a bit eccentric. Of the name, I think, was it Mercy? That healed Carolina, and then did not heal anybody else, as nobody else wanted heals, and someone asked to get their minor wounds healed, and he simply pointed out that a short rest would mend those wounds up just fine, so it would be kind of a ripoff to charge you, in a generous way of him. So, with that being resolved, you all left, and we're going to head toward Lady Ilzani's estate. Before you could... Sorry about that. Before you could arrive there, you would all meet up near the market as you would run back into Seoul. And before you could go any further, I pointed out that there was a large congregation of guards surrounding what looked like a building at the side of the market, as people looked on but were blocked from entry. As we pick up where we left off there, but before that, any questions, comments, or concerns? Things I left out that was important that shouldn't have been left out? Alrighty. The only thing I'm going to do is give a reminder to you, Astrid, of the magic item you'd gotten commissioned. I believe that they said that would be finished at some point today, and I don't know if you forgot.
Yeah, the afternoon.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't assuming if you'd forgotten or not, but it had been a bit, so I wanted to at least give a kind reminder of it.
No, yeah, that's fair.
I'm willing to give one of those out every so often. But, nonetheless, if nobody has any questions, we can get back into it. So we can do this really quick, in fact, if the party has no interest in what's going on with these guards. By me posing the question is anybody going to investigate what's going on with these guards?
Isaac would like to get a look-see. See what the dealio is. But he is also standing a bit back from the group still, so he could probably do this without anybody else if that was the case.
So, by take a look, are you just trying to look past them, or are you going...
Was there a crowd gathered?
It's a congregation of guards, but there are crowds looking on.
Yeah, I would join the crowd and probably ask what's going on.
If you ask any non-guards what's going on, you wouldn't get any answers. They would tell you they don't know.
Is everybody else walking away?
Saw the captain, right?
Briefly.
I was just gonna go see what's going on too. He'll go ask a guard though. If he sees the captain, he'll ask her.
Captain was behind the wall of guards.
Can I make out is there a sign on this building, like saying what it is or anything? Or is it just a building?
Roll perception. You can tell from looking at it the building appears to be unmarked. But there is a signpost that is somewhat faded. That appeared to used to have words written in common on it, but not legible anymore. So you're going to ask a guard, Silas. The rest of you, are you doing anything, or are you leaving, or are you just watching as they do this?
I would probably stop walking, but I wouldn't get close.
Fair enough.
And yes, I'm asking a guard.
Okay. I'm just gonna operate under the assumption that you are just standing there if you have nothing to say about what you're doing, so that I can get through this a bit quicker. Silas, you're going to ask a guard. What are you saying as you approach the wall of guards?
Excuse me, what seems to be going on?
As a guard would turn to you, and just look toward you and go, "Nothing, of your concern, citizen. Just move along. Guard business." Oh, no, he wouldn't say guard business. He'd say official investigation.
Well, it just so happens that myself and my compatriots are a part of the investigation tied to the events the other day, the attacks. If this might be tied into it,
Do you have any
then we
proof
should
of
probably
that?
be made privy. I did see the dear God Captain over here. She could verify.
The guard captain is busy at the moment. Bothering her with verifications would be ill-advised.
All the more reason to just let me by. She'll see me and know that I'm meant to be there.
Roll persuasion. You just hear him sigh. He'd go and he'd look around to the gathering of at least 15 guards. So he just shrugs and go, "You'd be an idiot to lie anyway right now." So you just move out of the way and go, "Speak to one of the guards further in if you want a brief on it." No, sorry, you wouldn't say that, because you have to prove that you're supposed to be here. So you go,
Right.
"Go straight inside. If you're meant to be there, you're meant to be there. If not, well, then I recommend walking away now. There are quite a lot of guards here."
Faust nod his head and go to walk inside.
Okay.
Isaac would follow.
Silas did say his compatriots. Is anyone else following Silas and Isaac, or are you all just going to be standing about?
I would look to Astrid. Say, should we follow them?
I mean, well, it's Silas and Isaac, so yes, probably.
Right. Just kind of hesitantly looks at the very large crowd. Just looks down very nervously and then just kind of holds her hand out.
Yeah, Astrid will take her hand.
Okay.
Is anyone not following them?
No, Josie was literally someone at a tennis match looking nervously between Isaac and Silas when they went out of sight, and Beryl and the rest, Beryl Soul,
Okay.
Caroline and Astrid oh no.
So you all
Oh,
walk
no.
along with Silas and Isaac following behind them. As you all would get a better view of the building, as it is a larger building than the ones you're used to seeing in the market area. And Isaac, as you get a better look at it, you're better used to the architecture of urban areas. You can tell it seems more like some sort of warehouse sort of building, from what you can tell. It's rather large, and it seems to fit the bill that either it was a warehouse at some point or is a warehouse.
Gotcha.
As you head inside through the open doors that have a variety of guards stationed at the front of it, as you walk inside, and you find yourself inside a well-lit, very spacious open room that is lit by torches along all of the walls and such, and some light coming down from the ceiling as well. As you see what look like a variety of different sorts of crates and other sorts of storage devices stored about the room, indicating what would be like a sort of warehouse of sort. As you follow in, and there are less guards inside, but there's still about 5, and they're all moving about in different areas. As you see, the 5 guards are about moving to the different storage crates and such, and they're just breaking them open with just reckless abandon as things sort of pour out as they do. Their variety of different goods like foods, plates, and silverware and such. As you would look and you'd see near the front of the room, a bit out of the ways of the doors that nobody could see in and see this, you see what looks like the guard captain stood before what looks like 6 heavily rotted corpses that are have a horrid smell coming off of them as they are moist, rotted, and laid on the ground as she stands in front of them as what looks like a priest is investigating their mouths and throats and such. What do you all do?
Oh dear, Captain. It seems we've both had our run-ins with the dead today.
Her eye glances over to you all for a minute and doesn't even linger on Silas for more than like half a second as it just turns back to what's going on. As she says in a sort of, what's the word, disdain? In a sort of disdain-laced voice, as she just goes, "Yes, the new hires. I suppose they just let you walk in."
I mean, that is what happened.
I did explain that you would immediately know that we're supposed to be here.
Supposed to be here?
Well, this...
I don't know about that.
Oh, you think this... You're certain this has nothing to do with the incident yesterday?
I didn't say anything about that. I also didn't say you're supposed to be here.
Well, we are supposed to be investigating the events due to what happened just yesterday.
That you are. She just keeps her eyes on the priest as he goes over the 6th corpse in the row and looks through it, pulling open its mouth and examining its throat. Go on. What are you trying to say?
Any chance we could know what you know so far about what happened here? We have some things to share with you as well.
Yeah, why don't you give me a second, pal? As he looks to the priest. And the priest looks up after examining the last corpse through and goes, "They're certainly not intact anymore. 1 second, sorry. Captain Galtra, I apologize. There's truly nothing I can do. They've assuredly been dead longer than any of our magics could deal with anyway, for any resurrections." She just sighs and goes, "Back to your temple then. And don't go spilling the word to any of the others at the temple about this. It's not idle gossip. As the priest stands up, looking a bit offended at what she said, as he just removes the thick black gloves that were covering his hands as he was doing the investigating, and politely wraps them up as he goes, "A devote of Erithus does not partake in idle gossip, my lady." As he just gives a bow, and turns to you all, gives a polite bow as well, and goes to walk out. As she's walking out, the guard captain's just with a annoyed expression, just looking forward and shaking her head, arms crossed. And then after he walks out, she'll just turn to look to you all and goes, "You want to know what happened here? Did some investigating about the town, got some reports of a horrid smell coming from the warehouse here. Old, abandoned one. Came inside, cracked open one or two barrels, found these guys stuffed in with a rotten shipment of meats and such."
Any of them.
So-
I should ask Jake, do they look rotted beyond, like,
Oh yeah,
if someone happened to actually know one of them, they'd be able to recognize them?
they
would not be able
don't
to?
look particularly recognizable.
Are they wearing the same garb that the ones in the attack were wearing, like the black?
Hard
robes?
to tell. Any clothing that is on them has either fused the rotted flesh or is just torn beyond repair. It's a rancid sight. It's disgusting, to say the least.
So you're saying they were canned?
I guess if you want to put it that way. She just, like, goes... It's a real mess.
Does this number happen to match the number of undead that was seen?
Yeah.
Good odds then that they're connected. As well, apparently someone performed necromancy inside one of the temples or not temples, apologies. One of the crypts in the mausoleum, in the graveyard.
Which graveyard?
The one by the Raven Queen Temple.
Guess we're gonna have to send a patrol down the way of the Raven Queen Temple, then.
You were given the key to access it from Mr. Perpetor. And inside we found a number of zombies and skeletons, but incorporeal undead, especially a potent one coming from a snow. Correct me wrong, Jake. The corpse itself looked like it was like writhing and moving inside the circle, correct?
Correct.
No pleasant way of putting that there was a writhing corpse of the deceased founding family within a circle that we had to disrupt to end the undead situation. Oh, and apparently a chest was robbed that was in there.
Guess investigating Mr. Perpetor wasn't a full waste of time, then. Good on ya.
That is what we found there, and assumed that that's quite likely inked. But as well, an attempt to harm, if not kill, the vampire was apparently made.
Just looks at you. You seriously went investigating after the vampire?
It was on the
Yes.
list.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, the batshit crazy list that that dear old Serpentstone made.
Well, if we didn't go
Look,
there,
I was gonna say, well, we were given a job, and if it pays, we'll do it.
Classic mercenary mentality.
if we didn't go there, things would have been worse, and we did get to speak with Vampire afterwards. It seems a similar culprit was behind the attack on him as was the attack in town.
Well, at least the mayor's getting her money's worth with you all then. Fuck off, dude. What the hell?
Yes, well, as I said, we had information to share with you as well. Do you have any way of identifying whom the dead are here?
That's what we're working on. Not gonna be easy. I don't know if you've looked at them. Probably don't want it too long. It's foul. But it's not gonna be an easy task.
They're old corpses, yes.
How long has the smell been persistent?
Got a
To give us
report
a-
of the smell. Got a report of the smell this morning.
They are inside barrels and had other things around them. It's likely took the stench growing strong enough to potentially reach outside the doors. You said this was an abandoned warehouse, and yet there were barrels shipped to it?
No barrels are shipped in it. Anything that's in here has been in here since the old owner, hasn't been using it.
How long has that been?
About a year.
Perfect base of operations on if you were doing something untoward.
If. They could have just decided that this abandoned old place was the perfect place to dump a few corpses as well.
I suppose that far back there's no way of finding out who sent these barrels?
Don't know. Don't think they were in the barrels originally. Would have to check in with the old owner. He doesn't live here anymore though, so that won't be at any time soon.
Well, Captain, would you be willing to share your report with us when you're finished?
Looks to you. Why?
Only because we've been hired to help stop whatever scourge is harrowing your town.
Certainly we're hired by the mayor.
True, but
We may not have been hired by you, and I can understand how the mayor doing so would have very well been upsetting or annoying. However, have proven already be helpful via the graveyard and the fact that we were willing to go attempt to speak with and successfully speak with the vampire. So I would imagine, since we've already proven our helpfulness, we would want a fluid information exchange.
Certainly have
Until
proven
it's
that.
solved?
Certainly have proven that you, in particular, would want official guard documents too. I'll see what I can do.
Not sure.
I can make no promises. It's an ongoing investigation. There's not a lot of time to be sending out reports to different people. But if it happens, it happens.
Well, we'll cooperate with you in any sort of way, if that is what you wish.
Certainly hope so. I am the captain of the guard here.
Right, well, Silas, I believe we had another appointment. I don't think we should interfere with the captain's work any longer.
Say, you might want the guards not just to be haphazardly popping these barrels open. Could trigger something unpleasant or destroy possible evidence.
Looks over to them. And when I say haphazardly, I do mean that they're just, like, cracking the fronts of them open. They're not, like, taking, like, bats to them and, like, breaking them open like that. But they are forcibly, like, pulling them open in a very, brutish way. She goes, we'll see. Should be fine. I don't think we're going to find anything else in any one of these crates, I'm going to be frank with you. I think this was a convenient dumping spot for a bunch of corpses, and that was that.
Also nod his head. Alright, let's go to our appointment.
Just a matter of figuring out who these corpses were now. Another thing before you go. You can run into the mayor, you don't tell her about this yet.
Understood.
She nods. Seemingly, not looking as annoyed, a bit pleasantly surprised hearing, the immediate agreement. And she just gives you
We'll
a
certainly
wave.
wait to hear from you on the results and your decision at that point, then.
Just gives you a wave.
Head out.
Alright. As you all step out back outside. What do you
Well,
do?
then I think we should continue on with our business.
Once I get a bit away from the guard, Silas was just going to say, this town just gets more and more interesting.
Sure.
Interesting is a way of putting it.
Certainly has character.
We should probably be heading out now.
I assumed we were already walking. I'll still be heading that way.
Sure. You all head toward Lady Ilsani's manor. As you do, you arrive toward the front, following the directions of a large brick building. Looks about to be 4 stories tall. Rather well-made manor, it looks like, with a second smaller-looking house at the side of it that perhaps could be a servant's quarters or some other thing that they have at the side. As stands tall, taller than most of the other buildings you've seen that appear to be residents. And it has a rather well-maintained garden outside of it that has a statue of what looks like a stark naked drow woman holding a silver sword with long flowing silver hair. Astrid, you'd know the woman depicted already, being the Lady Illustre, the one being depicted in it. As I assume you approach the gates, and as you do, what do you do as you approach the gates? You don't see anyone at him.
Is there a knocker?
I suppose there'd be a knocker.
All right. Well, I mean, Isaac is still kind of staying away, but you would gesture at the knocker.
Yeah, I'll give it a knock.
I want to take a quick cursory glance around just to kind of see if it feels like anyone's been, watching us or following us.
Roll a perception. Unsure.
Yeah.
But, Beryl, as you knock on the knocker, after a second, a individual starts to walk over. What looks like a pale-skinned high elf woman dressed in what looks like a very fanciful maid garment as they walk over. Very noble attire. And they would see you and speak out from the other side of the gate, not open, as he goes, evening. Sorry, it's the morning, I think, still. Or is it the afternoon? I don't remember.
We were getting close to afternoon.
It's still, like, late morning.
Yeah.
So there you go. Morning. How can I help you? This is Lady Ilsani's estate. Are you expected?
We are. We were told to meet here some point midday.
Who are you, then?
Oh, I don't, stick my hand through the gate. Name's Beryl.
Please don't stick your hand through the gate.
Oh, sorry.
It's a
Name's
security measure,
Beryl?
the gate. Beryl. The rest of
and-
you.
Oh, my name is Isaac Darrow.
Silas.
This is getting really annoying with this. She appears to be waiting for everyone to introduce themselves.
Josie's gonna just elbow Silas in the side and look at him. Still very quiet.
This is Josie.
I would ask, she would cut you off before you say the name. I would ask that each of you introduce yourselves. Yourselves? It is a security measure.
Josie.
I'm
So,
Esther.
Let's see if this fixes it. Okay. As that would be everyone. As, hearing that, she would nod. And she would go, apologies for the curt behavior from me. With the situation present, I was told to be a bit more cautious. As she would go to the front of the gate, and you'd see her slide a metal piece out of the side, and then pull the gate open. Please enter.
Go in.
Right?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. As all of you would enter, and then she would close the gate behind. As she would then look to you all and bow and go, I am Morena. I am the head servant and only servant here at Lady Ilsani's home, and I will guide you to the lady and her guests. Please, if you need anything, do speak up, as you are welcome guests here. As she looks over all of you, one by one, particularly you notice she's looking toward your ears as she does, and just examining your features closely, as she goes, and before we continue, I should give a warning, as I do to some of the ladies' uninitiated guests. Lady Elsani is a very loyal woman to the Lady Illustre, and was raised in a very traditional community of Illustrian Drow. So the sensibilities she has at her home are a bit different from what you expect, most likely. She will not be, how's to say politely, fully clothed.
Oh.
She has the grace to not fully commit to the tradition around the uninitiated cultures. So she will at least be wearing undergarments, but do not expect to see her wearing any shirt or other things of the sort. And Astrid, you would know all too well, yeah, that sounds as you'd expect from Illustrian Drow. In fact, the most surprising thing about that is the fact that she practices some restraint around different individuals by actually wearing, like, undergarments and pants.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I hope that will not be an issue with any of you.
Oh, no, not at all. I think, it's a perfectly natural way to live, and probably a bit more comfortable in your home.
Shouldn't matter so long as it doesn't, like, some magical occurrence, have any effect on the conversation.
I do not see why there would be a magical occurrence from my lady being naked. But nonetheless, if you all are ready, I shall lead you to the lady and her guests.
Lead the way.
Tassel not.
Alrighty. Wow. As you
Boy,
all,
You have zero chill.
as you all are led into the estate, as you find yourself in the halls of a rather well-decorated manor. That is decorated in this sort of more what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of darker tones, lots of purples and pale colors about as you move through the estate, with some paintings of depictions of Illustre and some what look like paintings of other members of her family. And every person depicted in the paintings is basically completely naked as you go through the estate. And eventually you are led by the lady, by the maid, to a pair of double doors. And as she pulls them open, you find yourself in what looks like a rather cozy rest area with a fireplace that is roaring as you enter. As inside the room, sat on a couch, lounging a bit back, is what looks like Lady Ilsani. Dressed rather freely, to say the least. She wears what could only be described as a sort of very thin, purplish nightgown that does not cover much, and is a bit see-through. That is worn by her, and what looks like some underwear as well, as she sits out on the couch, completely unbothered by the nakedness. As well in the room, sat on a chair, is Satanta, just with the spear leaned up against the side of the chair, just sitting about, looking at the fire and occasionally glancing over to the others in the room and having conversation as you enter. And obviously, Lady Estray, as she is stood by the fireplace, dressed still in her full traditional ceremonial silverish armor, as she is there. And then you see what looks like Kanda leaned up against the wall near the door, with his head just up and his eyes closed. As you all would enter. And Lady Ilsani would look toward the maid and go, the last individuals you're waiting for have arrived then. Thank you, Morana. As the elven woman would bow and simply go, should I fetch anything for you and your guests, Lady Ilsani? And she would look to you all and go, do you all require any refreshments or anything?
Oh no, that's fine. I'm alright.
If you have some elven wine, I wouldn't mind a small glass.
Just a water for me.
Give me 1 second. Oh, this ring light, man. Keep adding more and more tape to it.
Miss, our eyes are up here.
Okay. She would look to Moran and go, fetch some wine then, and a pitcher of water. As the maid would bow and then exit the room, shutting the doors behind her. As she would look to you all and go, make yourselves comfortable, please. You are welcome guests here. I wish to personally thank you all as well, as she would stand and face you all as she gave a bow for assisting in the safe recovery of my dear friend.
You're very welcome. I'm happy we could help.
And I will apologize for the secrecy from me and Satanta regarding this situation. But we'll also... Well, no. I am sorry that we had withheld some things from you.
Rightly so. I mean, look who turned out to be the perpetrator.
A perpetrator, at the very least, of something. Nonetheless, she would sit, and you guys can find yourselves places to sit, or you can stand, whatever you like. as she would go. So the topic for our conversation, as I've been informed by dear Soleil over there, is that, of course, the mayor is behind the attack on my friend and her disappearance for the brief moment she was gone. So I ask you all, as they gave me that they told me they did not believe this was the case, but do you all believe that the mayor is also behind the other events going on within the town?
No, it's unlikely because she really nervous. Her degree is concerned that has concern about these attacks disrupting all the effort that she's attempting to put forth to having a good Winter Remembrance Festival. It'd be counterproductive for her to be a part of it.
So the same reasons that Satanta believes that she is not involved. As Satanta just gives a nod over to you all and says further, she's too jumpy about this whole thing to be the one behind the matters. How did your investigation into Mr. Perpetor go?
More forthcoming than we thought it was going to be.
Yes, he's a very kind gentleman. A bit odd, but
Probably
nice.
gets the graveyard bell.
Right. Well, we did actually discover a bit more in the graveyard. He had mentioned something about a disruption happening for the past few nights and now during the day, and we investigated and found a number of the undead actually within the mausoleum of the Wolford family,
As well as a ritual circle with a writhing, seemingly, was it charred or was it just old?
That was charred.
Okay, with a writhing and charred corpse in the middle, which we now believe to be the corpse of Emily Wolford, founder of the town.
As Lady Estray turns over and Satanta scratches the back of the head as he goes, suppose we should discuss this then now and wait and put the mayor stuff off for just a tad then. Lady Estray would go, I will agree. Give us a detailed recalling of everything that happened there. Please don't leave anything out, if you can.
Isaac would begin to talk, and then he would turn and look at Astrid and just kind of motion like, if you're going to tell him, tell him. He wouldn't say that, but he'd give that kind of motion.
Oh no, Isaac, it seems you have it covered. Please, go on.
Well, we were able to dispel the ritual that was going on, mainly through the use of a magic item that we found in Lady Emily's coffin.
That was given to her by a dragon.
Yes, that was given to her by a dragon.
The Amulet of Dragon Kinship. Lady Ilsani chimes up. I know of the item.
And upon doing that, it seemed to free her soul, I guess you would put it.
One moment, Isaac. Beryl, you were seeing things the rest of us were not over this encounter. Perhaps you could
I-
describe to them what you were seeing?
I could. I'm well. There were all shadowy, writhing tentacles of the sort, and it looked like it was. Well, it looked like it was ripping her essence out of her body, like a shining golden essence just being pulled out. And wrapping all around her. So yeah, that's about it.
Describe what was assaulting her, if you could.
Well, it was yeah, that's mostly what it was. I mean, there were some spectral figures that kept appearing out of the arcane circle.
Can you describe how you described what was happening to her essence again to me? Because I might have missed that, because I was...
Oh, that's okay, yeah. I described that the tentacles were wrapping around her and pulling the golden essence out of her.
So you just described tentacles.
And the spectral figure.
Okay.
As an out-of-character reminder, just in case, not an in-character one, I believe if I have my notes accurate, there was dragon-like claws in the beginning of the fight. Ones that were going into her.
Is that... I genuinely don't recall that, but if that's in your notes, I mean...
I don't remember that. But
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't really remember any of that. So, I probably wouldn't have mentioned anything like that.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, the circle appeared to be of draconic nature.
In what way?
that's right. Well, I was able to read some of the runes on the circle, and it said, I couldn't translate it fully, but it said something along the lines of dead speak or speak dead.
I see. So you were able to
Is it
stop...
possible that...
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
Is it possible that this individual would have been powerful, renown-filled enough to qualify for the ritual we are concerned about?
Lady Emily Wolford would not qualify. She made good friends between her and the clan of dragons that she did, but she was not powerful enough, nor was she of renown enough. But you were able to save her soul without anything bad happening, I hope, then.
Depends on what you consider bad happening. Soul was seemingly saved. Silas looks to Beryl as he says those words.
Sorry, say that again.
The soul was seemingly saved.
Emily's soul, not our soul.
Oh, I was like, yeah. I'm like, wait, what? What about soul? It seemed that way. I recall her well, I recall hearing a voice say thank you, and it seemed like everything had been sorted out.
Any of you mentioned the chest that got robbed from, or am I misremembering?
No, we didn't.
Not
Didn't
here.
get
No,
there
the
yet.
captain. We did.
Okay. Right.
The unfortunate things. There was a chest that seemed to get over towards Astrid at this point, tied to iconic something that was broken into. Astrid?
Yes, Isaac, can you remind me what the inscription was? I can't read Draconic.
1 second. Hmm.
If you're looking for it in the notes, I can just read it. I have it.
Yeah, if you could, I was doing that.
Those who seek to respect the memory of my dear friend Turvit may lay their respects here. Those who enter with the covenant of the dragons can find what they seek inside if they wish to pay respects where he rests.
Yeah, Isaac would say that.
Okay.
And as well, unfortunately, the ever important in saving Emily's soul, the amulet, is now ash.
Lady Alsani gives you a glance, and she looks, not suspicious, what's the word? Not confused even. What is the word I'm looking for?
Curiously?
I suppose curiously, yeah, she goes, the amulet was destroyed.
Its power seemed to be used in the ritual.
It survived past the ritual.
She just looks to Silas saying that, and then to Isaac. With Astrid having said what she said before in the tone she did, as she goes, whatever I'm missing here, describe it. Talk about it now, please.
Isaac would use Awakened Mind on Astrid and just say, "It's up to you."
You hear Isaac's voice in your mind say, "It's up to you."
She's not saying anything. This is his hole. She's not digging and she's not filling it in.
All right. If she doesn't respond or doesn't say anything, Isaac will say the same thing to Silas. He is willing to accept his fate on this, but if nobody takes it up, then he will take it.
Silas would reply mentally if I can. Am I able to?
I think I could hear you. All right, you could communicate telepathically. I don't know if it says you could respond, but I assume so. I'm able to touch the minds.
Never assume.
Yeah, never assume. Bad idea. I wonder if only I could communicate one way.
One second. It's one way.
It's one way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If that's the case, then Silas will just wave his hand before from us towards them in a go ahead.
All right. Isaac would kind of fix his posture and be like, "Fuck." He's just gonna say that the necklace, shortly after being removed from the body, once the body had, seemingly settled, turned to ash in his hands. So it survived the ritual.
It seems like a bit of a pedantic thing to say that it survived after the ritual, then when it only survived for a short bit after. Roll deception.
Roll deception.
And I have to roll something. And you are that, so... It's a good roll. It's almost an at 20.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Let's give a minute, James.
Yeah, no problem.
As her eyes would just linger on you for a moment, Isaac, then go to Silas, who pointed out the thing that she considered pedantic, and then go, But I'm not going to waste any more time on this. Whatever has happened, and whether you're telling me the truth, frankly, I don't know if you are, and I don't really care. The item is gone. See to it that you don't waste time like this in an important conversation again, as she does look a bit annoyed. As the maid would arrive with the bottle of wine and the water, and everyone can get a drink.
Isaac would very fastly walk to the drink.
Feeling a bit parched there, bud.
A little bit.
As Lady Elsani, in fact, will drink wine. And she'll go. As she does, and then Slayer Stray would look to her and she'd go, Do you know anything of this inscription above this chest, what it could mean, and what was taken? So Lady Elsani, drinking the wine, she'd go, I know that Lady Emily Wolford went to the grave with the knowledge of where her dead friend was buried, so that no one could disturb his remains. And Lady Stray goes, assuming nobody else says anything. So...
Her dead
No,
friend be of the caliber for this ritual?
Lady Stray would think for a minute. And she'd go, For the dead friend to be necessary for the ritual, the ritual caster would need to be a dragon as well. How big was the mausoleum? She says with a chuckle.
Not large enough to fit a creature more than twice the size of a person.
And unless we're dealing with a very powerful dragon who can shift their shape, then I don't believe so. But you mentioned draconic script on the circle.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Lady Stray do a check. a good roll. It's 22. I know of rituals known to the members of the Church of Tiamat that have rituals that could possibly extract information from the dead that have been longer than something like Speak with Dead with Allow. They are not pleasant rituals, and they often come at the pain of one's soul. But, aside from that, I also know that the Church of Tiamat has techniques and rituals on reanimation of dragons, you could say.
Did come across Tiamat followers on the way here, Tilford.
Is there any way to know where this friend of hers was buried without the contents of the chest? She looks to Lady Ilsani. Lady Ilsani goes, I suppose the records at the Temple of Law could be tried, but... well... sorry, I need 5 minutes, so we're gonna take 5.
Yeah,
As we'll be back in 5 minutes. And, yeah. And all the cams are correct. Perfect. Picking off where I left off, Lady Elsani was in the middle of saying that she would have to see if the Temple of Law has it, though it will be difficult to get anything from them.
You might be able to help with that.
Looks to you.
Present the mark given to us.
As Lady Elsani would just go, it is nice that you think that, you could help, but I possess more authority than your mark carries, and they are not forthcoming with me.
Wasn't assuming the mark would carry authority per se, but perhaps the acknowledgement that we helped the dear judge in a time of need that may be worth consideration. That's
You
all.
can try if you'd like. The Temple of Law may give you something or not. If you wish to try, ask for the judge of the establishment and tell him that Lady Elsani sent you. I'm pulling up the judge's name.
And specifically, what document are we wanting from them?
The judge's name would be Ognoth Redmane. That's what she would give you. There's no specific document I can name. You would be looking for any documentation that Lady Emily Wolford left behind regarding the resting place of her dragon friend. So if you wish to try that, I wish you luck. I will also have my own attempt at it at some point, but we have the other matter to speak of now first. The matter with the, well, unfortunate stealing of the location is dire, but we can do nothing about it at this moment. The mayor, however, we must discuss. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to think of something that I lost. So the conversation is going to continue on, and they're going to start discussing the mayor and the problem with the mayor. And it's going to be brought up that before you all could comfortably do anything else regarding the incident and the possible protections of the cemeteries, as Lady Estray said, you need to take care of the mayor. Lady Elsani would say that this is a delicate situation, as we have enough evidence with the word of Lady Estray to do whatever they'd like with the mayor. However, acting too rashly will likely allow the Red Wizard to get away, and that is not something that they wish to happen. So there has to be some discretion in going forward. If any of you have anything you would say regarding whether you have ideas or anything, you could say so now.
I think it might be worth enlisting the guard captain in on this. eventually we'll have to confront the mayor and possibly arrest her. But do we want to hinder her actions at the moment? We could possibly place her on house arrest, have the guards seemingly guard her house, but really, be preventing her from leaving. But my fear is that if we do that, maybe she can't get in contact with the Red Wizard, and he'll be tipped off.
If we do anything of the sort like that, the Red Wizard will instantly be tipped off. I can be sure of that.
So we just have to figure out where the Red Wizard is and get to him first?
Or
I agree with what Beryl said, but just to tag on a bit onto the God Captain idea Isaac proposed, we came across the gods and the dear captain on the way here. Apparently, 6 dead bodies were found in a warehouse that the owner has not been in over a year, and they were all the bodies were tampered with in a way that even if they were caught in time, no magics could be used to speak with them. Moreover, the captain asked that we not share this information with the mayor. That leads me to believe that the captain, beyond her natural demeanor towards the mayor, is certainly not on her side.
She is not, and Lady Astray would start talking. And that could surely be a benefit, but if I know the god Captain Galtra, and I don't that well, but I know the, priorities of gods of just destined towns. I know that if we involved her, she would likely just go straight to arresting the mayor, and likely tip off the Red Wizard before we could do anything to apprehend him or her.
Alternatively, we do nothing at the moment. We possibly shadow the mayor, see if she makes contact with the Red Wizard, and confront them both in the moment.
Doing nothing in the moment could lead to more dire things happening on the front of the attacks.
I mean, it sure would help if we knew why she was doing what she was doing.
That is a matter for after things have been resolved.
Well, she certainly is all flustered and built up about this festival. Like, surely something involving that would have something to do with, the attack on the poor Lady Astray here.
The festival is a bit of leverage that we could possibly use in our favor. It seems to be the only thing the mayor cares about for one reason or another. If, say, it was proposed that it be canceled, I don't know if that's a group decision that you could make, and he gestures to Ilsani, or what have you, maybe it would force the mayor's hand to act and do something rash that we could, I don't know, possibly lead us to the Red Wizard. I know I'm grasping at straws here, but she's our only lead and we don't seem to have many options.
That is certainly a grasp at straws. Even if I had power to cancel the festival, I do not. I have very little power here. We don't know what that would do. It would frankly be pushing someone who already seems rather desperate even being more desperate, which could lead to her doing something that would not end up well for people involved. We do not want to endanger more folk. considering she's already willing to attack people. She just glances to Lady Elsane. But you bring up a good point. The only leverage we have over her is the festival. And we also do need to know where this red wizard is. You all have been working for her, investigating folk and doing things for the festival.
Yes.
She will not speak to me, Satanta, or any of his apprentices in private. It appears she suspects we suspect her in what happened to Lady Astray, as we rightfully should have. You all, however, I do not believe she has any reason to be suspicious of. I propose this, a little bending of the law that you must not get caught doing. If a group of you could keep the mayor distracted with news that could affect the festival, while another possibly infiltrates her office to try and find documentation that could show where the Red Wizard is, or any information on the Red Wizard, that could be a good lead.
I'm sure we can think of something.
Well, I mean, she's got her list of suspects. Maybe we tell her that one of them is up to something, you know, outside of the town or something, and get her attention that way.
We could tell her that the vampire wants to meet with her.
Yeah, we could do that. You know, maybe something like something like renegotiating the deal with the town, and the mayor's the only person that
With the authority
she's
to do
willing
that.
to speak with.
Silas, were you going to say something?
How would she meet with the vampire? She is stark scared of the individual.
Because the vampire threatened the festival.
Right, well, she's scared of him because she doesn't know anything about him, but